This is WWE 2K24. We're here on Xbox Series S. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. Enjoy the magic of these great custom characters, and also check out the streams where I do wild match setups like this in the Royal Rumble. So we've got 30 competitors facing off here. We're going to be talking about the experience for this particular year and what it has to offer on Series S. So as per usual, it's 1440p, 60 FPS. There is support for up to 4 players in local co-op, 6 players local, 8 players online, and yeah, it delivers a bunch of unique ways to basically engage with the action and enjoy the magic that is WWE. So we've got different presentation styles this time around, a free camera, which is kind of cool, and just a host of different adjustments to change the aesthetics and how you see things during, well, basically the matches, which I think is really quite awesome. I love these features, and I love the extra cinematic freedom we get by having them. Cool. So, 2K Showcase of the Immortals. Showcase moments from the 40-year history of WrestleMania. It's a timeline with specific dots throughout the decades of WrestleMania that you can choose and enjoy a bunch of historical individuals competing and kind of recreating or reenacting or enjoying those particular big moments. It's got an iconic roster with big legends such as Andre the Giant, Stone Cold, John Cena, and many, many others with different variants for various years. And of course, if nobody's available that you want, as the rosters do change in regards to who's available every single year, you can go and do the custom creator downloads, and people have created all kinds of different options. There is a blood setting that I did turn on, but it's off by default, except I still really don't see any of that being present here. So we have guest referee battles, which are a new form of play where there is a ref that can engage with the action. Hilariously, I think on the Series X one, was it Lala versus Batista, and then Cortana was the ref, which was kind of hilarious. At least I thought so. There's casket matches where you try to lock an opponent into a coffin in order to win. A bounce off of that is ambulance matches where you are attempting to lock someone into an ambulance to win. So, kind of intimate little quick battles. And then there's either an ambulance or a casket in play, and there's a big presentation as they like roll in and you face off and try to get your competitor in there. It's kind of cool. Gauntlet battles. So these ones are basically matches of the Battle Royale, but with submission-based victories and formulas kind of being focused there in regards to winning against your competitors. A bunch of options for that. The Backstage Brawl, which has been expanded with like an elevator thing and some weapons in the game in general, new weapons, tools, fun animations, and crazy things going on. So we have the Royal Rumble with 8-player online now and 30 superstar matches. So that's 30-player superstar matches. Now you can have 8 players competing online. There are regular matches like per usual. You get things like 1-on-1, 2-on-2. You have like a squad of 4 going at it, war games, tournaments, custom matches, do this locally, do this online, there's online lobbies, make lobbies that are private for your friends, join other lobbies online, all the different online features as per usual. My Rise continues, that's where you're ascending from a recruit into the WWE, and you're trying to make your way up to superstardom. So it's kind of like a little bit of a story type mode, men's and women's divisions that you can choose from to play. It's similar to what we've had in the past. That's a lot of this game, is just sort of revising over previous entries and iterations and just kind of adding some new features here or there like I've highlighted before this. So yeah, My Rise, pretty neat, kind of a fun mode, and then that leads into My Faction, Superstars and Legends from every era. So this one is your trading card game. So you collect cards, you build your roster, you build your teams, your men's team, your women's team, your, I guess, management, everything like that. I have a dog, Ruby, I think, as a manager, and so that's kind of your Superstar My Faction mode. So you do this in single player, there's online matches, ranked quick play is brand new, and as opposed to just regular quick play as well. And yeah, you just collect cards, do faction wars, weekly towers, proving grounds. There's just kind of a bunch of different ways to compete in that mode. It's got a, just a plethora of different options as you open packs, get boosters, get new characters, I guess you'd say even outside the ring, you get different bonuses and benefits you can add to your roster, and it's kind of neat if you're into that sort of thing. There's the WWE Universe, so you're building feuds and creating action like never before. So this mode is largely the same, but there's new cutscenes, double title matches, and some smaller quality of life improvements and adjustments and additions to that particular offering. So you're just kind of setting up conflict and, building up a sort of, I don't know, I guess you would say a building system of promotion for matches, which leads into My GM, where you get to be a general manager to draft an elite roster of superstars, creating larger-than-life matches. So that really is kind of watching over who's in your roster, building up teams, having them kind of compete against one another. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, the My GM mode is kind of a fun thing if you want to do the managerial type of side to the WWE. I'm sure many are familiar with what that one has to offer. So there are tons of arenas present, tons of different match options. We talked about the new camera angles. I did notice that there are some crashes, some server issues with this one, and that's mostly present really within like the creation suite. So if you're not familiar with the WWE games, they went through a bit of a reboot a few years back, and very aesthetically, stylistic, and gameplay-wise, they've been essentially coasting on that over the last few years, which makes sense. They did a lot of work to revamp things, bring it back, clean it up. So, visually, stylistically, it's very similar to what we've had in a few years past. But what really is a strength of the game is its creation suite. So you're able to make custom characters, share custom characters. They give you a huge selection of differing options for personalization. It just runs really slow, insanely slow to download characters and stuff. It is annoying, honestly, very, very annoying to do that. But it's not just characters. You can also download things like new arenas that you can make your own arenas too. Creation Suite is something you can do, or you can download what others have. Custom entrances, you can import imagery into the game for deeper levels of personalization and realism. And yeah, it's awesome. It really is. You get to see a match set up here where it's like Homer Simpson wrestling Captain America, and Skeletor and Batman are there, and that's really cool. And then Mario wanders away disappointed. I think it's really neat, and the fact that you can create characters that are actually this polished, where some of them are incredibly detailed and realistic and offer a lot to the game for fun and enjoyment. I think that's really awesome. I think they did a great job on the offerings that people are able to have to make their own personal crazy creations. I think that's really genuinely cool and sweet. It's a great thing to have within this game. So that is something I recommend playing around with, but just it is so slow. And there are some bad bugs too, pre-launch, the game just the early access period, it just crashed whenever you try to go into to the thing, and it still kind of crashes if you try to delete images because you have a cap of wrestlers. I hope they kind of maybe expand that down the road, because it is kind of annoying having a custom cap of 50. I'd love to have a larger, deeper selection, but maybe I'm just weird. Who's to say? So I would say this year is very iterative. It takes what we've seen in previous years, and it does expand it. The ambulance thing is cool, the casket thing's kind of fun. It really just is, if you grab it every year, you're gonna be happy, right? It's a new wrestling game, it's a new experience, it's new fun. If you're looking for something wildly different, they do kind of play it safe. You do ponder, hey, how many more modes and things can they realistically add? What really are they missing? We've got a bunch of well-rounded stuff. You can be a GM, you can do universe matches, you can do the trading cards that's prevalent in every sports game. You can do your My Rise, which is a story thing. We've got the 2K Showcase, which replaces, or at least I believe it replaces, the John Cena mode from last year, where you got to see John Cena's career. So they sort of do a new story focus every year on something unique and different, and it makes sense and it fits in. So I get it. I really do understand what they were pushing towards, what they were trying to provide. And I appreciate that kind of thing. I think a lot of people do appreciate the fact that they are attempting to do some new stuff each year. Are we going to get anything radically different? Not for a while, I don't think. Who knows? I'm also not sure what else they could really add. It would mostly be, as they've done, polishing things, adding some smaller fun stuff, like new tools, weapons, and changes. Like, they've already got, like, cage matches, and you really can finely tune just how crazy your wrestling setups are. It seems like they've got practically everything you would expect, right? Different setups for different types of players. I do kind of hope we get some more mixed gender wrestling options. It's, it's for fun. It's a video game, so it would be cool to do the Royal Rumble with a bit of a mix in there, and I don't think that should really impact things too much, because again, it's a video game, so, just be kind of entertaining, at least from my perspective. But I do get maybe why that isn't the case. I think the guest referee thing is kind of a neat addition. That one is a little bit of fun, I will say for sure. I love the creative elements. I do enjoy this one. I do find that the kind of combat, like stamina, seems to be a bit different this year. I don't know if I'm crazy in thinking that, but just the way these matches kind of play out, it seems as though they're almost faster in nature. You don't seem to last quite as long. There are some refinements on animations and the way you do interactive stuff, but a lot of it really comes down to kind of using your button presses to do moves in combination with things like the right trigger, or using the right stick to kind of pull off moves, which is kind of a neat way to sort of mix up how you're doing your approach. It's almost like a bit of a dynamic, I don't know, I guess you would say combo stick move that you can do in order to interact and compete with others. So that one's kind of interesting. I think really this is iterative. It is nothing wildly different from what we haven't seen. If you haven't been into WWE for a while games-wise, this is actually pretty well polished, pretty well put together. Got lots of different modes, lots of different ways to play. The creation suite alone is highly entertaining and unique and distinct. If you do grab it every year, I'm sure you will continue to grab it every year. If you're a little hesitant because you're thinking it's similar to last year, it is, right? It is similar. But there are a decent amount of changes, at least on the surface, that I think make this a compelling, decent offering within the series. So I think that about covers all of the full concepts of this one. It's interesting, it's neat. There's a different mode for every type of player. As always, for these sporting type games, you get them yearly. I enjoy covering it yearly. It's fun, entertaining. I've only done it for a few years, so it is kind of newer to me, but I am familiar with it from a longer period of time and whatnot. I've seen many iterations and different approaches, and it's neat. I think it's kind of a cool series. And you know what? There's not much that can beat seeing this kind of a fight, right? This kind of a battle on the wrestling map, match, or mat, I guess would be more appropriate. It's awesome. It's fun. You get to have weirdness, download whatever you want, do whatever you want. I like that. So there's a good amount of options, some cool stuff. Release a non-commentary gameplay just so you can see that in action, and I hope you enjoyed the coverage this year.
This is got some vicious right forearm. We could have an elimination here. Which superstar is this going to be? Oh, can you believe it? Now that's how you make an elimination. Oh, God, that hurt. Look who it is. Oh, man. Just listen to the crowd. This very well could lead to elimination. He is a sight to behold. Take a picture while you can, everyone. Terrible position to be in here. Might not always check your face after that one. He turns it around. Who's it going to be? Watch the educated hands and feet. Fulfilling strikes. Here he is, and he's geared. I'll get out of his way if I were in the ring. Reins down at elbow retaliation. Rolling elbow right on the mark. The WWE Universe giving him an extra shot. Guys, it's almost time for our next competitor. We got 3 left. Who could this be? We got entrant number 20 on the way. Talk about a luck of the draw. He's in a little war now. Honestly, I'm guessing everyone else can smell chocolate water at this point. And that was a precisely measured attack. Underhook applied. This place is going insane. The ground beneath my feet is shaking. Possible elimination in progress. He was elusive there. Clearly targeting the shoulder. Oh, man. Closed fist connects. Knew what was coming there. Sent flying. He's focused on breaking down his opponent's core right now, taking away the center of all movement. He deflects it right back. Counting down. Who's it going to be? Who's 12 moves down? You should know this by now, Byron. He's going in. And here's someone who could change the complexion of this match in a major way. Got him set up in the corner of